Hopefully you have already viewed the demonstration of the user module. If not, I suggest you go back and view that demonstration first. In that demonstration, we addressed how Standards Manager can help you with the quality and consistency of your plans. We stressed how the users don't need to create the layers, dimension styles, symbols, etc. themselves over and over again. And we addressed how easy standards compliance will be. In this demonstration, we're going to look at the administration module in Standards Manager. We will address some of the problems that you may face as a CAD manager. These problems may include creation, editing, and maintenance of your CAD standards, instantly and seamlessly pushing out revisions to your standards, and quickly and easily responding to user input. We got to keep the users happy. Before we get into the demonstration, perhaps we should discuss how Standards Manager will fit into your existing network. Similar to how your users access drawings and project data from a central server, they will also access the CAD standards from a central server. The standards consist of an access database along with several support files, your symbols, details, title blocks, etc., all the drawing files that make up the standards. All CAD users will have the user module installed, but typically only the CAD Manager will have the administration module for creating, editing, and maintaining the standards. So hopefully this will give you a good idea of what is going on behind the scenes with the user module versus the administration module. Now let's take a look at the administration module. The administration module is a standalone application that runs outside of AutoCAD. When working in the admin module, you'll make your way from left to right. You'll notice several tabs across the top here where you'll do your work, and you'll start on the left side and make your way to the right side. Your first tasks will most likely include discipline creation, layer creation, and applying line weights, colors, and line types to those layers. So we'll begin by creating a discipline. I'll call it mechanical. You can have anywhere from 1 to 5 layer categories. What is a layer category? Well, if you take a look at this document, if you're familiar with the National CAD Standard, you will see that they have data fields. The first data field may be the discipline, the second will be a major group like wall, as you see here, and so on down the line, getting more detailed by the fifth field, which might be N for new. These data fields that you see here in the NCS would be the layer categories in Standards Manager. So we'll choose 4 layer categories for our discipline. The first one I will call discipline. The second one I will call major. The third I will do minor. And the fourth I'll do minor 2. Maybe I'll call this one minor 1. And then the delimiter, the character that will go in between each of the categories, I'll choose a dash. And I'll click create. And as you see, our discipline is now created. Now before assigning layers to that new discipline, we first have to work on our line weight versus color assignments. And that's why it's the first tab, again working left to right. In this tab, we assign colors to line weights. We can do this manually, or we can import a CTB file. You probably already have a company CTB file that you use, and if you like it and would like to continue using it, you can import it here and use it with your standards that you're building. We can also apply screening values to the layers that you see here. Perhaps you want an existing feature to plot a light gray, and that's where you do the screening right here. Off to the right, we can use hues or color ranges. I'll explain this in a little while. Standards Manager supports CTB or STB, or both simultaneously. That's right, either or. You can decide later whether a project will be CTB or STB. Maybe you're not quite sure at this point the direction you want to go in CTB or STB. In Standards Manager, you don't have to make that decision yet. The standard can be STB and CTB, either or. And that might be a little difficult to understand now, but we'll talk a bit more about it later. So we were done with the color versus line weight standard. It looks good. We're now ready to create layers for our mechanical discipline, so I'll click on the Layers tab and switch to the mechanical discipline. You will see the 4 columns that represent the 4 layer categories we defined earlier: discipline, major, minor 1, and minor 2. Layers are organized into groups, as you see here. So we define our layers within the categories. We'd select which layers we want to make up a group, and we would create or update the group. To speed things up, what I'm actually going to do is I'm simply going to copy layers from one discipline to another. This seems like it would be a common task since all disciplines use the annotation category, for example. So let me go back over to the standard setup, and I'll go to the civil discipline, layers, and I'm going to take this annotation group and I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to come down to the mechanical discipline and I'm going to paste it. And you see now we have our annotation group within the mechanical discipline. So I'm going to go back to the Layers tab, and there's our annotation group. Alright. Obviously I want to change this from C to M, so I'm going to go ahead and edit and add the M discipline, mechanical, and then I'm going to transfer these layers over to that new discipline category. So I'll go ahead and swap layer group component and change it to M. And now you see that we're using that new M abbreviation there. I'll go ahead and get rid of the C. Okay, great. So we're off to the right start. Now we could, like I said, we can pick on which layers we want to define the group. For example, maybe our annotation layers are not going to include match line for some reason or another. Maybe it's only going to include these 4 abbreviations in the minor one category. At this point, we would click on update to update the annotation group, or create to create a new group.